Hey everybody, this is Jim with Harvest Harmonics, and welcome to another episode of Innovation in Agriculture. I'm your host, as always, for this wonderful episode where we talk about how agriculture is evolving, how things are being changing, how new innovations and new technologies and new ways of looking at things is enhancing and evolving the whole process of agriculture, the whole farming business. In today's episode, I want to start by saying something that may not make sense at first, but it's something I think is very, very important to understand because the more you understand this concept, the more not only my technology will make sense, but the more I think um, running your business and viewing agriculture will make a lot of sense. And this is basically the understanding that the more you understand something, the better you understand something, the more simple it becomes. Now, when we look at science and scientific things, you can read through research papers, and believe me, I've read through many, many research papers. Okay, I've read through scientific papers and thesis on everything from the different biological, the biochemical responses in plants to how photosynthesis works to how various inputs can be to work together or become antagonistic to each other, how water is able to carry certain molecules or certain wave patterns. I had to learn that to understand how my technology really works. And at first, when you're studying these things, it seems all complex, all complicated. There's so much data, there's so much information, right? And most of that, of course, the first time you read it goes over your head. But as I continue to study and continue to learn, I really began to understand this whole photosynthesis process in plants. I began to understand it very well. And I began to understand it at a level that most people, most scientists may not even really realize it. And what I realize is it's all a very simple process when you think about it. If you're trying to isolate specific processes like how does a root cell absorb water and how does it absorb nutrients and how does it absorb some nutrients but not others, and how that whole process works, you can get really convoluted and complicated in terms of understanding that process. But then when you really understand how all that works, you understand how the whole system works, it becomes very simple. And photosynthesis is a complex process. There's over 3,000 unique processes that are involved in a plant's use of photosynthesis and how it generates energy through photosynthesis, right? But you can take a step back from all those minutiae, like minute small details, and you can understand photosynthesis is a relatively simple process, right? You have a certain amount of water and nutrients, right? And you have sunlight, and the sun is just converting those molecules, those nutrients into other types of molecules, right? It's a very simple process. And you can break it down to essentially one word: energy. If you want to increase yield and improve quality and plant growth and plant health and resistance to insects and resistance to, oh, I guess I got some kind of something in my ear. Sorry. Always have to happen. Sorry about that. I was actually pulling up a video to educational video on photosynthesis, which I was going to play for you, but it's again, they get too complicated with it. From a farmer's perspective, you just want to know that plants grow and how they grow and know enough about the process to where, when somebody's trying to sell you an input or sell you a piece of equipment or trying to change the way you're doing things, you understand the logic behind it and then have it make sense to you. And then you can say, is it good or is it bad for my business, right? That's the simplicity of it. But I can break down the entirety of plant health and plant growth and plant production into one word: energy. That is the simplicity of it. If you have energy, or if the plants have energy, the plants will grow faster, they will resist weather fluctuations and insect problems and diseases and funguses and all kinds of different things that you would normally have to fight against if you're a farmer trying to get a good crop out every year. It all boils down to one word, and that's energy. How do I increase insect resistance so that these pests do not eat my crops? Energy. How do I get the plants to grow faster so that if I have a late planting because of rain or other problems, I can still get a good crop out by the end of the year? The answer is energy. How do I get more yield for each crop if I'm growing tomatoes or peppers or even corn and wheat and those types of things? How do I increase my yield so that I make more money at the end of the year? Energy. How do I get good crops that have a better shelf life so that when I sell the crops, my retailers are happy and my end consumers are happy, and I know that the more of that food is actually making it to the table, and I get to make more money because I have high quality fruit? The answer is energy. How do I get better insect resistance? So that, again, energy. How does it resist funguses? Energy. How do I get more out of the seeds? Can I plant more seeds so that I can plant closer together and get more yield per acre? Right? Energy. How do I reduce my input cost, my fertilizer cost, my pesticide cost, my fungicide cost, my water bill, all these different things, my labor cost? How do I get rid of all that and reduce those costs? Energy. It's a simple word and it's a very basic word, energy. But what do I mean by all that? How does energy really play into all of that? Well, let's just take a look at it. Plants are nature's energy production, right? There's within the realm of nature, there's some species of organisms that produce energy, and there's others that eat or utilize that energy, right? Plants are nature's way of generating energy. They take energy from the sunlight and raw materials in the soil and atmosphere, and they convert that into energy. And that energy then is used is eaten by animals and plants and humans, or animals and humans and other things. And that energy is spread across other organisms, and the whole ecosystem thrives, all based upon the plant's ability to generate energy. And when you look at how to keep plants alive, crop plants alive, right, against insects, well, give them more energy. If they have more energy, then their natural immune systems, their natural biochemical defenses against insects will be enhanced, and the insects will not eat those plants. There's so many videos and so much information on that I don't feel like I even have to justify that statement. If you don't believe me, just do a Google search. Type in plants with more bricks have better insect resistance. Just watch the other researchers that have already talked about that. How do you keep plants and protect plants against fungal outbreaks? Let's say if you have a fungus problem and the fungus is getting on the fruit or getting on the plants and it's rotting the plants and rotting the fruit and killing them off. How do you protect against that? You give the plant more energy. You allow the plant to generate more energy. Because if the plant generates more energy, the cell walls will be more dense and thicker and stronger, and those fungal organisms can't penetrate down into the soft flesh of the plant, and they won't be able to spread and multiply. Same thing with insects, same thing with larvae and other types of things. Same thing with bacteria, by the way. You want to increase your resistance to COVID, increase your energy level. You will not have COVID or other diseases. I know because I had COVID a couple of weeks ago, and I told people I was out of work for one day. And they looked at me like I had three heads because they didn't believe that I would have resistance and better. But the reality is I just had good energy. So I fought that off and got back into health very quickly. So how do you get plants to produce more flowers and thus more fruits and vegetables? Give them more energy. They will produce more flowers and more fruit, I guarantee you. How do you make the fruit bigger and better and higher bricks and sweeter and better quality? You give the plant more energy and it will divert some of that energy into the fruits and vegetables and give them the quality they need to be good offspring. How do you make fruits and vegetables more nutrient dense? Again, give the plant more energy. They will put more nutrients in that fruit. How do you get plants to use less water and less nitrogen and less phosphorus and less potassium and other nutrients so that you can save money on your water bill and save money on your input costs? You increase the energy of the plant. If you make plants super efficient at generating and utilizing energy, they don't need all of those chemicals. They don't need all of those pesticides or inputs. They just don't need it. So the way they make more money with farming is one of two ways. You either buy more land and keep doing everything you're doing and operate at a profit, or you increase the energy of production of the plant so the plant can generate more fruits and vegetables per square meter or per acre than they currently do. And that's what our crop booster technology has been doing for the last 2.5 years since we launched. It's dramatically increasing the energy production in the plant, which means better insect resistance, better fungal resistance, better disease resistance, faster growth times, better yields, better quality yields, and reduce input and water costs. We see this across the board. Every time we use the crop booster, we're seeing these types of results. And we want you to have these same results too. So if you want to have a much easier time farming and you want to spend more time with your family and less time worrying about your crops, Or if you just want to get more out of your crops and make more money, put more money in your pocket, then give us a call, 727-324-6750. Let's dramatically increase the energy that your crops are producing so that you can become part of the future of farming today, and we can all have healthier food and a better environment to live in. I hope to hear from you guys a lot real soon. I want you guys to have a great weekend. We'll talk again very shortly. And in the next coming weeks, as we hit the holidays, we're going to be having some very special promotions happening. And these promotions are a little bit different than the ones we've run in the past. It's not just a matter of getting money off, but we're also going to be encouraging you to bring a friend. We all know that we want to help each other. We want to help our friends and our family and other farmers. And this is a way that you can help your friends and your fellow farmers and take advantage of some really good pricing and get this amazing technology on your farm so that you can see the amazing benefits with no risk whatsoever. If all this sounds really good to you, then give us a call, like and subscribe us on YouTube, to give us a like and follow us on Facebook. Make sure you're following our channels in the next few weeks because we're going to be launching some pretty amazing promotions. And we want to get every farmer on board with this because every farmer is going to see dramatic increases and improvements, and we want you to be one of them. So if that sounds good to you, please give us a call and let's work together. Have a great day.